How do you create change that lasts? How do you, if you want a new result in your life, you have to do a new behavior. So you got to change that behavior. In order to change a behavior, you need a set of capacities or capabilities or beliefs. How do you go about changing that? Because if you want something you've never had, then you've got to do something you've never done. Let me say that again. If you want something brand new, something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done before, but most people can't get out of their own way. Isn't that true? They say the average person has about 60, 70,000 thoughts a day. The problem is 90 to 95% of those thoughts are the same thoughts they had yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that. In other words, if you want something brand new, you have to stop doing something old. One must do something new in order to see something new. And the best thing you could do for yourself in this kind of situation is stop saying, I wish this would change, or I hope this would change, because hope, as we've talked about, is not a strategy. You gotta take I wish and turn it into I will. And the secret to making this happen really is neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. I talk a lot about it in this show because the goal is to create new brain cells, neurogenesis, to birth new neurons. The goal is to create new plasticity, like your brain is plastic and you can create new connections, but the goal is really to make sure you have these connections, because that's really a big part of what intelligence is making a connection between something you don't know to something that you know and reinforcing it. Now, the key to neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, the essence of change is this: novelty. Novelty and actually nutrition, which is why we cover nutrition so much in past episodes. But the novelty is really what's key. So here's the thing, no matter your age, your brain is like a muscle. It grows through use, through neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, which we talked about, through novelty and nutrition. So try something new every single day. That's why it's important. If you want to create change, you have to try something brand new every single day. After all, we're given this life, right? We're given this precious life. We have one life to figure it out, and it doesn't last forever. Besides, life could be extremely, extremely boring if we just stay within the lines, if we just stay within the limits of what we already know. So if you feel inspired to be able to jumpstart your habits, your change, I invite you to look at three things. I invite you to actually approach this with, like, try something new. And most people, they don't want to try something new because it's outside of their script, right? It takes effort and energy to try something new. But if you train yourself to do this, so I recommend you do 3 tries. Number 1, try something once to get over the fear of it. You know, so many people, they want to learn how to salsa. They want to learn how to be able to juggle. They want to learn how to be able to take a cold shower, or whatever the things they want to do. Because again, first you create your habits, and then what? Your habits create you right back. So I say, number 1, try it once, just to get over the fear of it, because then you've done it. And then I would say, number 2, try it twice to begin to learn it. You begin to learn it, you begin to ingrain it. And finally, I would say try it a 3rd time, and the 3rd time is to see if you like it or if you love it or not. You know, usually after trying something a few times you get, now it doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, it could be try it once or twice to get over the fear of it, try it a 3rd time, a 4th time, a 5th time just to kind of learn it, and then try it a 6th, 7th time to be able to see if you like it or if you love it or not. Does that make sense? You know, I feel like, so you don't have to know every single day, but the goal is to understand the process of doing this. Now, the real key to making change, think about a change you want to create. Maybe it's in your career, maybe it happens to be in your relationship, maybe it happens to be in your health, maybe it has to do with your learning, right? Think about one specifically, and I want to talk about really 3 keys to change, 3 keys to making lasting, fast-lasting change, if you will. Now, the first C, I would say, is consistency. Does that make sense? When you're talking about habits, and we've talked about habits in the past, we've talked about it, you know, with James Clear, talking about atomic habits. We talked about it in a past episode, which I recommend, with Dr. BJ Fogg from Stanford University, talking about how to create new habits, how to break old limiting habits. So that's very important, but the consistency is key. Whether it takes 21 days or 30 days or 66 days or 10,000 hours, whatever it is, the power comes from repetition. So consistency. Remember, if you're persistent, you could attain it, but if you're consistent, you get to keep it. So the consistency is the first It's key because you can't go to the gym and then all of a sudden you're just healthy and you're fit and strong for the rest of your life. Consistency, right? That's the first C to change. The second C to change happens to be capability. Capability, meaning it's the actual strategy, it's the skill, if you will, on how to be able to do something. Because what you're looking to be consistent about is your capability, the skill set that you're gonna get. And where does that usually come from? It usually comes from the third C, which is challenge. You get better and more capable at something the more you challenge yourself. Isn't that true? Because with challenge comes what? With challenge comes change. Through your struggles, you develop your strengths. Through when you lift a weight, it's very difficult. There's adversity and difficulty there. But when you do the hard things, life gets easier. When you just do the easy things in life, life gets hard, right? We've said this before, but if you do the easy things, procrastinate, put things off, then life gets hard. But if you do the difficult things in life, like that's your routines, getting yourself to meditate each day, getting yourself to eat well, getting yourself to move every single day, the things we talk about in Kwik Brain and all these episodes, then life becomes easier because you're better. It's not like life got better, you got better, and that's the key. But in order to do it, you need to be consistent, you need the capability, and you need to be able to challenge yourself. Because just like lifting weights, life gives you challenges, and all of a sudden, maybe you get to the other side of that challenge and you're stronger because of it. I mean, don't you have a reference for this in your personal life that you went through a time that was extremely difficult? You wouldn't wish that time upon anybody, but there was a light that came from it. You found a strength, you found a mission, you found a purpose, and you developed, again, a strength. And I'm talking about strength a lot, but that's how you develop fortitude. That's how you develop grit. That's how you develop cognitive strength, mental fitness, and fortitude is through challenge. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna invite you, because a fourth C, if you will, consistency, capability, and challenge, that brings all those three things together is having a coach. This is really for people who want to take knowledge and turn it into power. Because we talked about knowledge is not power, it's only potential power. It only becomes power when what? When you utilize it, when you apply it. Because all the books, all the audios, all the coaching programs, all the online programs, all the podcasts, none of it works until you work. So this is my challenge to you, and we have people listening from all around the world in 180 plus countries, in social media, people are engaged in our podcast, on our YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, all around the world. But together we can make big changes. But it starts by making little changes, because consistency compounds. Consistency compounds. Little by little, a little becomes a whole lot. And then what I want you to do as part of your accountability is two things. I want the proof. Because here's the thing, it's not about saying it to other people, it's about showing them. It's not about promising people, it's about proving it. And change doesn't have to be difficult. It's little things, again, that add up to big things. Little things done consistently become big things in the long run, because again, consistency compounds. But the most important thing I really feel like you're gonna get out of this is you're gonna become a master of change. You're gonna be able to follow through. When you wanna make a new change in your life, you'll have momentum and you'll have references. Because for me, every single month, I like to learn something new, if not every single week. Every single month, you'd have your to-do list, right? And I also have a to-learn list. And I feel like the longest living people are people who are committed to lifelong learning. I talk about the research behind this, that add years to your life and life to your years. But let's do this together and let's turn you into a master of change. So when you need to have more confidence, or you want to learn a new skill because you're switching careers, or you want to go to graduate school or learn a new subject or a new language, whatever it is, you go through it, because even if you don't have the competency, you have the confidence, because you're like, man, look at all these things over the X amount of weeks that I've already learned and jump-started my habits and learned how to learn to change new things, right? Change your brain, change your what? Change your life. Change your life, we could change the world. So